This is Anti-Imperialist Front TV news for the week ending December 21st, 2024. We commemorate the martyrs of December 19th to 22nd. Exactly 24 years ago, on December 19th, 2000, one of the most brutal massacres in history took place in the prisons of Turkey. Fascism in Turkey organized an operation in prisons using thousands of soldiers. The operation was against revolutionary prisoners on death fast to oppose isolation prisons. The soldiers who attacked the prisoners with chemical weapons and firearms massacred 28 revolutionaries. Among those massacred were revolutionary women who were burned to death. The aim of this massacre was to end revolutionism in the Anatolian lands and to ensure the implementation of IMF programs in Turkey. After the massacre, 122 people lost their lives in the ongoing death fasts. With the resistance shown, the revolutionaries did not surrender to either this massacre or isolation policies and ultimately won victory. On the 24th anniversary of the massacre, we once again commemorate these great revolutionaries with respect. Attacks and resistance in Turkey. Fascism in Turkey continues its attacks on revolutionaries. In the past days, the political police detained dozens of people again. Among those detained were people from all walks of life. Group Yoram members were also detained. After the operation, in which 8 people were arrested, news of further detentions came today. Turkey's fascism continues to attack revolutionaries with unlawful operations. In addition to this, hunger strikes against isolation continue in the prisons of Turkey. Serkan Onur Yilmaz and Sercan Ahmet Arslan continue their hunger strike resistance in order to be transferred from severe isolation cells to prisons where their comrades are. We will continue to be the voice of Turkish revolutionaries resisting fascism. Action for George Abdallah in Vienna. In Vienna, Austria, a demonstration was organized for Abdallah, a revolutionary imprisoned by French fascism for 40 years. The demonstration, organized by the Vienna Palestine Committee and attended by the Political Prisoners Committee, was held in front of the French consulate. During the demonstration, banners and materials demanding Abdallah's freedom and freedom for Palestine were carried. In France, on December 19th, the release trial for Georges Ibrahim Abdallah, who has been imprisoned for more than 40 years, took place. The verdict is to be delivered on February 20th, 2025. Anti-fascist action in Lithuania. In Lithuania, a group of anti-fascists protested against NATO and the Kiev regime. They carried posters with anti-NATO slogans. In addition to this, the Ukrainian policies of imperialism were also exposed, with a banner carrying the slogan, "Supporting Kiev is supporting terrorism against Ukrainians." Solidarity event with prisoners in Athens. A solidarity event was held for Nikos Romanos and all political prisoners for the Ambelokipi case in Athens, which was held on December 16th in the social centre Altai. At the event, the speakers were Konstantina Kartsiotti, member of the Anti-Imperialist Front and Solidarity Committee for Nikos Romanos, Lila Ragusi, lawyer of Nikos Romanos, ex-political prisoner Makis Boukovalis, and 2 members of the Solidarity Movement for political prisoners in Greece. 100 people participated in the event. Questions were posed to the speakers and a discussion was held. Tony Greenstein's trial in the UK. Pro-Palestinian activist and writer Tony Greenstein has been charged by British imperialism with supporting a terrorist organisation. Imperialism is the so-called defender of freedoms all over the world, but in reality it uses its courts under the pretext of terrorism when any opinion against it is expressed. Greenstein is one of its victims. Because he opposes the genocide in Palestine, he is being presented by demagogues as a supporter of Hamas. Greenstein also made a speech in court in which he exposed the arbitrariness of imperialism's terrorist lists by asking whether the same could be applied to HTS. The judge decided to move the trial to the higher Crown Court, and it is to be held on 31st January 2025. While this was happening inside, dozens of people gathered outside the court to support Greenstein. This trial constitutes a serious threat to freedom of thought in the UK. British imperialism clearly wants to criminalise freedom of thought with terror laws. That is Anti-Imperialist Front TV news for this week. For news outside the mainstream, follow us on social media. See you next week.